Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Juice Up Your Productivity with Power User Tips. This is Lal Yanda and I'm delighted to be your moderator today. The first part of our time will go over the Hangout part of it, Juice Up Your Productivity with Power User Tips. After that, we will open the floor up to any questions you have on that or anything else related to the BIM FAB workflow. We have some of our experts on the line who are more than happy to address your questions. We encourage you to interact with us by typing in questions and comments using the questions pane. This webinar is being recorded and will be available to you online on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, search Applied Software on Facebook and like our page to receive the latest information and special offers. When you visit our website, asti.com, there is a complete schedule of upcoming training and events. There will be a $25 gift card giveaway that will take place at the end of the Hangout. You must be present to win. Sorry, maybe off one.
Yeah, I got these all off.
All right.
Well, you said that. Okay.
Okay, there's our upcoming events.
What do you want?
That's good.
Okay.
And our upcoming events.
Yep. Did you already say that?
Yeah, just leave that up there and then they can see.
Okay.
And go ahead to the next one. Our upcoming webinars for next month will be what is behind the curtain, what is a fabrication configuration. I'm sure the intro will go a lot smoother. And
sure it will.
Go to the next one.
All right.
And go ahead and ask questions. We will randomly pick someone to win a $25 gift card. And please join me in welcoming Scott Hendricks. And Scott, I will give you the floor and introduce yourself.
We need the fake applause. Yay! All right. All right. Okay, so what I have for you guys this week is just a bunch of crazy random tips things. If any of you were at AU, you may have been in Darren Young's class for 60 tips in 60 minutes. It's going to be kind of like that. I have a few of the ones that they mentioned because I really like them, and then I have a bunch of, I don't know, just random bizarre stuff. And I'm going to start with ENDFALL. So a lot of these are just commands, and what we'll do is at some point I'll put these commands in, maybe in the chat box, or definitely when we post it to YouTube I'll have it in the comments there for some of these, because a lot of them are command line only. When I have a graded piece of pipe here. When I place a attacher on it, you'll notice that my small attacher arrow is red when it's going to the side because it's flat. But this is graded. At this point, we can type ENDFALL. And ENDFALL is not working. Okay, ignore that one. What it usually will do is pivot that thing with the grade of the pipe. So it would set that grade automatically. Now that was lame. Let's go to the next one. When I'm drawing with design line, a lot of times I'm not filling them. I'm just working on them, especially when they get big, they take a long time to fill. So at the end of the day, I have all these design lines that aren't filled that I have to go through. In the past, I go through and double click each one and then fill it so that I can save it. But I have a command just for doing that that works even better. So it is fill design nodes. And when I run that, then I don't even have to have design line running. Apparently the shortcut does not act the same. All right, it is FILLOBJS. I can select multiple ones. So I can select all my design lines. I can't just window them, but I can select them that way. Hit enter, and they're all filled with the last service that the design line was filled with. All right. Something that came out, I believe it was in 2016. They made a change to the Hangar pattern that allowed us to show insulation shields. So I thought it'd show that. If I go into my Hangar here, we'll take a look at, say, a 6-inch Hangar. In my options, I've got block thickness here. I'm going to set this at point, give it some thickness, give it a length, and then at the bottom, under insulation shield, I'm going to tell it yes. So what we get is a nice little shield on the bottom. So if I can make a copy of this Hangar and build another one so that, if you purchase one that's pre-built, pre-stuck together like that, or I could add in the ancillaries of this item so that it picks up on my ancillary report so I could order these shields. But either way, we now have a representation of that. So if I came in and now filled this, then we can see the insulation shields on there, even though I don't have insulation on the pipe. Okay, don't freeze up on me. So there you go. You can see the shields. All right.
Hey, Scott, real quick, there was a question about on the reporting, you had mentioned something about adding the ancillary to report it?
Yes. And the question is?
So to get the report, you just add it as an ancillary, correct?
I could add a shield as an ancillary, yes.
Okay.
So I would do it inside of my Hangar specification. So I'll go into my supports where, let's see, I think I'm using, and create one where I'm adding that ancillary. So I'll set it up as an ancillary, add it in our support, and then it would report out on our ancillary report.
Thank you.
If you need help with that, if you're customers of ours and need help with that, then just give us a holler. We can help you set it up. Okay, next one is just an annoyance that I've always have with hubbed fittings. So when I look at this fitting, and the hubs of it are all red. Well, it's not really like that in real life. I want it just the same color. The hubs, what's going on here is this hub is being created by the connector. And so that connector's been given a color of red, so my hubs end up red. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you go into the properties of that item and go into options, there's a checkbox right here for connectors treated as part of main body. The only thing that does is in the viewer, it won't show that as a connector, it will just show it as a hub. So with that selected, now I come in and we go to make edits to this. Now we can see that now our hubs are a part of the main body like they are in real life. Now we just need a script to run through every one of those and fix them. Insulation. Let's go back to this this line right here that we ran. And so when I'm drawing with this service, we already know that if we set our insulation specification here, that when we're drawing with the attacher, that's how it's going to apply that insulation specification as we draw. But when we're drawing with design line, it ignores this, and we get no insulation. The place to set this for drawing with design line is in our design entry, right here on current values. So in current values, we got to check insulation specification. I'll take insulation off. Now on our current values, we can set our insulation specification to whatever we have set up for this particular service, and then when you draw with design line, it's going to apply whichever insulation specification you put there. All right. Well, trick for spooling. When you're dimensioning a spool and using the spool dimensions tool, that is here, it will change your snaps. We have control over what it switches your snaps to. I like mine to snap only to midpoints and nodes. So if I only wanted midpoints and nodes, first thing we need to do is we need to find out what number, what our OS mode is for that. So I'll go into my snap settings, and I'm going to select just midpoint and node, because that's what I want. That's how I want my snaps set when I'm dimensioning my spools. So click OK to that, and then I'm going to type OS mode to find out what that number is. So that number is 10. If that's what we want our spools to do, then I'll go into my spool INI, and this spool INI is going to be in a different place depending on your configuration and how you're set up. But we're going to look at the spool INI, and we're going to edit this. So we're just going to open this. And right here, and again, this may be in a different order in yours, you'll have a spool dim snaps And that's where I set that number to 10. You can see that I've already set mine. If you want different snap settings, then find out what your OS mode is, place it right there, and those are your snaps when you're pulling your dimensions. And one other tip while we're in here, there's two things that I come in here for. One, I came in to set these settings, but then I pretty much leave it. It's not something I change. But ignore IDs. So when you run a spool, do we want it to number the welds and the joints and couplings, or do we not want it to renumber those? If you have it renumber ignore IDs set to 0, then it's not going to renumber anything that is listed here. So we're going to put whatever service type we don't want it to number in this ignore IDs and set this to 0. They don't get numbered. If I'm working on a project where the welds need to be numbered, then I'll come in and change either that back to 1 or take off 56, which is welds. So I'll make some edits in here depending on what my project is calling for. All right. Folders. So here's my folders view. I got a couple tips for this. When you're dragging this around, if you hold down the control, it won't dock on you. It's kind of a pain when you're trying to stretch this and move it, and AutoCAD keeps wanting to dock it. If you hold down your control as you're dragging it, it won't dock. In here, we could have these things all changed. Let's say if I come to the view and this one's details, and we'll come over to here, and this one we set to small icons. But every time I switch one of these, it remembers that position, and it may get all messed up because I've done all kinds of things to this. If I want to reset those every one of these views back to the default, because over the years they've gotten all mixed up, we can change those, set them all back to default by going into our folders and in my items folder. So I'll just go into there, and I'm going to do a search for position.dat. So that is a file where it saves all that information. And what you can do is just select all those and delete them. Now when I come back in here, every folder I go into is going to be the same, this large icon view. So, quick way to reset them. Also, here's a trick that I really like, and it's only available in the 2016. I've always hated that the folders, the navigation was here at the bottom. Just seems like a horrible waste of space. And just difficult to navigate. But they give us an option now. We can move that to show vertically. So much nicer way to view our folders. Another trick in here is if you just select this button over here, we don't get a search bar. But we can add it by going right to our command line and typing ITM search TB, and that will add the search box to it. Tip for the search box is you really need the stars. So if I type star, say valve, oops, and then star. So the stars mean anything. This star means anything can come after valve. This star says anything can come before valve in my search. And I click on that, and it'll take me to the next valve. And you can just keep clicking it, and it'll take you to the next valve, next valve, next valve. So if you're looking for something in particular, the search box can really help. You can also search on CID or alias, although I haven't had a real good use for that. If you are populating a lot of things in alias, then it might be helpful. But there's situations where I suppose searching for a CID might be useful.
Hey Scott, real quick, got a question for you. Going back to the folders view, can you redefine what the default display setting is for the folders, or does it default to large?
No, the best thing you can do is go set one of them up and then duplicate that into all the folders.
Okay. And then two, the search, another question, is the search also available in EST?
The search is on by default in EST.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, isn't it?
I believe so, but the answer to that is yes. It should be on. If not, I've seen it in there.
Yeah, it's all. It'll come up here in a minute. Item folders, yeah. See, it's automatically on there. All right. Next. All right, let's go back into our drawing here. Talk about some. A lot of you may already know this, especially if you've had classes with me, but one of my favorite commands is select run, or the shortcut is SR enter. So by select run, I click on that, any piece, it's going to show me everything that's connected. So sometimes it's I'm moving a system, and I want it all to move as one chunk, so I'll do select run to move it like that. Or that I want to isolate just things that are connected. Or sometimes I just want to make sure everything's connected. That I don't have any breaks in the line, that my nodes aren't put right together, or my elevations are correct. So select run has a lot of uses for things like that. Here's another one that I kind of forgot about. I hadn't run across it in several years, but this can be awfully handy. Let's say that I need to cut these lines up. Maybe that I've drawn everything down the hallway, and we've got some modular construction where they need joints all to line up because we're gonna send this out in chunks. So we can divide this thing up with a simple line. I'll just draw a regular line here, and then I'm going to type the command SLT and select this line. That's going to show me all the surfaces that line's intersecting, and I can tell it to ignore that or not. And when I click OK, it just cut all my pipes on that line, put in a weld. So now I can spool this thing out in modular form. Fixer. Let's hope this drawing goes better than I did with the ENDFALL. All right, so I got a little drawing here, some plumbing, and it's got grade to it, and I have a combo laying down. I need to spin it up. So the best way to do that is with a fixer. I type fixer, hit enter. It asks for my base point, so what's going to pivot point, and then my end to rotate. And I can either put it to the left or the right, and you can see we got all kinds of options in there. I'm just going to push it straight up, apply that and close. And this will lead me to the next one. So I'm going to go to a front view here. We can see that it's grayed. Now if I just pull on this grip to drag a piece of pipe out, what I get is a pipe that is crooked. Well, there's a quick way to straighten that up, and that is with a tool called the positioner. So I type positioner at my command line. Oops. And I get this little window. Now there's lots of things we can do with the positioner. I'm just going to show you one today, and then I'll let you explore with that. You can see that we can do other things. I found this is extremely handy for elevating pipes too. We're going to use it just to straighten this pipe up. I'm going to select my pick point 2 here. Oh wait, I miscued here. POS, positioner, select the pipe. There we go. Now, select pick point 2. Now I can drag up and to where my cursor is directly vertical, click, and straighten that pipe up. So, quick way to straighten up pipes using the positioner. Next one, let's go over to here. I've been asked this, I just found this one today in researching for this. I'll put in a fitting here. Now this fitting, a lot of these fittings, especially the ones that come from Autodesk, or if you're using you know, another service, a lot of them will put a URL in this item. We can find it in CAD by going to the CADmep properties, links, and then here's the link that Autodesk put on this item that takes us right to the PDF that this item was created from. And this is good, but the question I always got was, well, what about when I'm in Navis? Is it going to show up? Let me save, do a quick save here. And back in and refresh. The problem is it does not. If I select that item and go to links, we have no links. So the links aren't carrying over. There is a command that will take the link from the CADmep properties and put it into the AutoCAD properties so it shows up in the other Autodesk stuff. And that's called Add Items Link, or the shortcut is AIL, Add Items Link. Hit enter, select that, we'll save it. And now when we go into Navis, give it a refresh. And if we look now, there's our link. So for a long time I said, ah, can't do that. And apparently you can. I got one last one for you guys for today. Let's see. That's all right. So in here I have a background, 2D background, where I need to put the pipe in, and I got 2 chilled water lines here coming out of my mechanical room, and I need to continue these all the way through the building. So these 2 lines come all the way over here, and go up a chase over here. Now, one tool for doing this, for running these lines at the same time, would be MultiService Design Line. I've never been a big fan of it. It's kind of difficult to draw with. But there's another way to do this in here that they call MultiService Fill, or MSF. So I select I type in MSF and hit enter, and you're going to get this multi-service fill. And first thing I'll do is add some lines, and I'll select these 2 lines. Okay. And then I'm going to click this fill design line to add lines. And we'll see if I select the right one here. I'll try that. Now I can start drawing with this, and it's going to draw both the lines at the same time through my building, putting the hangers on them. Now there's not a whole lot of options as I'm drawing with this thing, like changing size or putting branches on, but for these 2 lines it was the perfect thing because there were no branch lines in this. They were just going around. Still may have to do some elevation changes, but this can be useful. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Any questions come in, Lyle, that we should cover?
Yeah, there's 2 here. Could you go back over the slice tool again?
Slice tool?
Yeah,
sure.
run through that command again.
I like that one. It's fun just cutting your pipe up into chunks. All it takes is a, come on. All right, maybe I can, maybe I can't. What happened? All right, AutoCAD is not responding. Oh. It's trying. All right, technical difficulties. Maybe if I close down some stuff. I can switch, I just can't do anything once I get there. So you draw a line. It doesn't matter what elevation the line is. You just draw a line where you want it to slice and type SLT. It's a pretty simple one.
And another question came in on that. If the pipe is insulated, will slice that as well?
Slice your insulation? Yeah. Because the insulation is part of the item, so yes, it would.
And does the slice command work in ISO views? Or does it have to be in the top view?
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I would feel better running it in a... you'll have to test that one.
Okay.
I would feel better in a plan view, though. I don't know what it's going to cut if let's see if
and then another question come up on the slice tool. Is the SLT command different from the AutoCAD slice and 3D operation?
Yes, very different. Because the reason is Fabrications SLT command will put in our joints that we needed. You notice it put in the welds. It will handle some of that kind of work for us.
Another question. Here's not on the slice tool, but as you're getting restarted, I guess what is the recommended way to add slope to pipe? Was the positioner command to do that, or is there another command that you would recommend?
After it's been placed, I'm guessing. All right. We got running here again.
Yeah, after it's been placed.
Okay. Positioner is probably the best way to do that. So if I place a piece of pipe and I forgot to put grade to it, because you can put grade right now, but for some reason I got it in there and forgot to, then with the positioner I can set my grade and you notice that you see my attacher turn green already. It sets it immediately. As soon as you type it in, it's done. So now when I hover over it, we can see it's falling at 1:48. So it's also nice to change it. So I ran that at 1:48. Come select my positioner and select it now to 96. And now when I hover over it, it's now at 96. I guess now that we're running again, we could do the slice tool. Just put a bunch of them in here.
Oh, this is, yeah, going back to the positioner. Does the positioner work on multiple items or one at a time?
One at a time. One at a time. SLT. So there, just sliced it and put our no-hub couplings in. What if I did something crazy?
We had a question. I'll let you finish this one.
I just wanted to see what would happen if I was on a mechanical service when I ran it. It's going to try to put welds in, just for fun. No, it still got it right and put couplings in. Nice. Okay.
This one is related to the multi-service fill. Is how do you set up trapeze hangers to fill in instead of clevis?
I don't think you could with that tool right there.
And it's not gonna. I'm assuming
the best you could do is exclude your supports from fill. So go to your supports tab and exclude that from fill when you're running the tool, and then go back and put your trapeze hangers on them. Is that it?
And then another one just came in asking, so you said you could put slope on the pipe before you draw it. How would you go about that?
All right, when I'm drawing with, say, no-hub pipe here, and I put my 4-inch in, I set my grade right here, 48. Height.
All right, well we've gone through all the questions that have come in so far. Can you show that one more time?
Which one?
I'm assuming the slope.
Adding slope as we put it in?
Setting the slope when you place the item.
All right, I click on my pipe button, select the size I want, click in my drawing, fixed relative box pops up, and I assign my fall. All right.
All right, last one. This has to do with folders.
Okay.
How can I keep folders from docking when reopening after having moved them previously?
Keep it from docking on reopen. So we've docked it, and Not sure I understand that question. So I close it, and now when I open it, oh, keep it docked, maybe?
Folder front docking. Yeah, I'm guessing it may be however you had it.
I haven't had much luck making it do anything. It seems like every time I open it, I'm resizing, moving every single time. See, I don't know. You know, it depends on what version, because I think this was, it would remember this in previous versions, but it seems like here in 2016 it's just opening to the same thing every time. I don't know.
Okay, and sorry, this one came in right as the end. This will be the last one. Does the slice tool function work on ductwork?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
In fact, it'll work on pipe and duct at the same time. Put in a piece of pipe. Put in a duct, because I know y'all just dying to try to do this. Oh wait, don't put it on the end of the pipe. You know, have your duct work and your pipe in the same drawing, but you may want to bring them together just so you can slice them so that they all fit on the rack that you're building for this modular construction. So SLT. So there it's got both of our services. Okay. Now we got joints for our duct and our pipe all in a nice row.
All right. Perfect. Well, that goes through our questions and answers. If any of them come in that we've missed, we'll go through them and we can address those accordingly, and or feel free to email us directly and we can get those answered for you. Now let's go ahead and get to the $25 gift card giveaway, and the winner is Curtis Gates. Curtis, we'll get your information and get that sent over to you. But before we depart, thanks for joining us today. We hope you found this webinar informative and help to your business. Look forward to you joining our next webinar on Behind the Curtain, what is a fabrication configuration, January 28th.
Thanks, guys.